I've said this before. It's the first time in my life I thought I needed help, like I couldn't help myself. So, the first couple days, you're like, you don't even know what the hell. I talked to you about this, Cam. Like, we love fighting, or I mean, necessarily love it, but we're not afraid of it. We're never afraid of it. But you always knew what you were fighting. Like, you could look around a bar, even if assholes were going to start something with you, and you could say, I don't want to do this, or I'm going to try and avoid a situation, or know when you were going to jump the situation because you already knew it was coming. But this situation, you don't get a jump on. And you don't know how big the guy is, and you don't know how tough he is, and you don't know what hand he throws with, and you don't know if he can take a punch, and you don't know any of that shit. So you're just like, so here I was. I have this, and I've said this, you guys have heard it on other things probably, but I have this saying where I say you got to read the paper. Just read the paper, because when we play cards on the plane, we face the front of the plane. The doors of the captain's of the pilots are open. You see the captain reading the paper. We hit turbulence, and he just keeps reading the paper. Shit, you just go back to card game, right? You just go back to card game. But if he hits turbulence and he starts reaching for seatbelts and air masks, you're like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
And you start panicking. So I want to be the guy in the house that just reads the paper, because I'm the leader of the house. I have 3 boys, and and it's the first time I think I was telling them that hey, I'm just reading the paper, and I wasn't believable, So they came in to surprise me, and they got a surprise.
It's like when the flight attendants are going up and down the
Oh,
fucking
God.
alley. You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
shit.
you always read,
Yeah.
you always read the flight attendant.
Yeah.
Hey, what's it like for years? You see people who get sick,
Yeah.
and like you're going to visit them,
Yeah.
and you're bringing them food and whatever, and then all of a sudden it's like you're on the other side. Like you
Yeah.
always wonder, like, I mean, you probably don't think about it. Like, will I ever be on the other side? Like all of a sudden now you're the guy that people are coming,
yeah.
and you're getting the standing ovations on the jumbotron and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, you don't think about it, but when you're in there, you're like, holy. And then there's a couple things, like, and it sounds arrogant to say it, but we're not the norm. Like, if you went in there, you wouldn't be the normal person in there, and that's no disrespect to the people in there, but you've taken your body to a whole place that he's never done, and that other people have never done, and it's like, you go in there and you go in with this attitude that I'm going to beat this thing, because if they tell you you need shoulder surgery and you're going to be out 8 weeks, you're telling them you're going to be back in 4, because that's how your mind. That's what you tell yourself. So when I drag a Peloton in there, and the doctor's like, "What the fuck are you doing? You'll be laying under that in 3 days. You want to bet?" And I ride it 24 days in a row, and I do 100 push-ups a day. Take me all day some days. Sometimes I could do 5 at a time, but I did 100. Then I did 100 sit-ups, and I tried to walk 7 to 10 miles with Bo, with my bag of drip in the hospital, because I'm not staying in there. I don't want to be in there. But you see all these people around you, and they're sick,
Mm-hmm.
and you feel bad. So you end up caretaking them. Like there was people that I would talk to everybody. I would try and make people feel good. I would go in a room and sit with blues fans, and it was just like maybe therapy for me, because I had already done this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it also was like a time killer. Not to name drop, but a good buddy of mine in college, Caruth, that good friends with Lance Armstrong. And I said, hey, do you mind? Like, I had Lance's number, but I said, do you mind if I reach out to Lance? He goes, I'm with him right now. Just, of course, he'd love it. So I reached out to him, chatted for a while, and then we started talking about the bike. I said I brought the Peloton, and I'd read his stuff, like where he goes, no, I didn't ride it for like the chemo. I rode it for sanity, because that's what I did. Because I got on that thing and I rode it like a 6-year-old when I was just done my chemo. And then as I was building up, I ended up 120 miles in a day, but it was back to where then I knew I was going in for another treatment because I was getting my energy back. They knocked the shit out of you again. He goes, I did it for sanity. Well, what happened with me was, I think I did it for that reason, or I started out doing it for the, hey, I think it'll help. It turned out for me, I think it got me out of there a month early. The whole story about, Twister with coming to get me in the hospital, it's a true story. But at the end of the day, like, I couldn't be there any longer. I was losing it. I was having, and they talk about chemo fog and chemo brain, and like it does work on you, and you have bad. I don't want to say bad thoughts, but you have like, am I going to die thoughts?
Yeah.
Right. Right. And you like, and so it works on you a little bit, and it's usually when you're alone. And so, I was just having one of them days, and I think what happens is for me, I could have that therapy of going in and knowing that kid behind me is 23 years old and is kind of quitting, needs to see me tomorrow. So I was like, I'm going in her room again tomorrow, or I'm going down the hall to talk to this guy, or this fireman's having trouble, or, I was in a lady's room that didn't get the best news. Huge Blues fan, took her a jersey. She didn't get the best news the other day, and tweet out something to her because, this trial that she just was on didn't work, so they're gonna have to try something else. It means, look, when you go in there, you check a box for the next 6 months. You don't have a life for 6 months. That's where you go. You go in there and so that part of what you just asked me of being in there and being on that side of it, I think being on this side of it where we go and help people helped me when I was in there, because I was able to at least understand with people a little bit of what they were going through and know, like, there's nobody riding a bike in there. There's nobody doing push-ups in there. There's nobody doing sit-ups in there. They might take an extra sofa in there or a Game Boy.
No, they're not moving around.
But they're not moving.
No.
So what your doctors, they think you're like they probably had never seen anything like you.
Well, my doctor's unbelievable.
Like, are you
Ramsey
busting out of
Abu-
there? Like, are you saying, I want to go home, and they're saying no, and then you call
Yeah. He
He
Twister?
called fucking
and
Twister,
so
baby.
Twister, like, is that
Well,
a
not really.
Is he allowed to do that?
He's allowed to do a lot of things.
He's Ray Donovan, man.
Yeah.
He is.
He is Ray Donovan. He is. Listen, I don't care who you know. They're like, guys will have a few cocktails. He's a guy you call in the middle of the night when you're really in trouble. Bullshit. I got 5 guys in my hand, and I'm lucky to have 5 that I would even think might, and I know one for sure, and he's a 3 a.m. guy.
100%.
100%. Guys are full of shit when they say that, oh, I would, or other guy. Yeah, you would until your wife taps you on the shoulder and says, the police are going there too. Oh, wait, I got 3 kids. This fucking guy showing up every time. And I phoned him. I had a breakdown in the shower, and it was 11 at night, and I just called him. I said, hey, you got to get me out of here. Like, I was crying. I was hyperventilating, and I got out of the shower, straightened myself. I go, you got to come get me. He goes, what's the matter? I said, get me out of here. I need you to get me out of here. I'm losing my mind. He goes, what's the matter? And I said, I don't know. But I said, I got to get out of here. You can come and get me. And all he said was, are you hooked up to anything? And I said, nope. And he said, I'll be there in 25 minutes.
Had you gotten out of the
was.
hospital yet? Had you been in there from like the time you checked yourself in? Had you been out yet or
No.
no at this point?
Nope. Losing my mind.
So he just walks in and
Well, no, he doesn't, because I phone him back 15 minutes later and turn him around and say, it's a bad time. Come tomorrow morning,
yeah.
because the doctors will see me and we'll get the hell out of here.
How does that work? Like, can you leave? You have to be released? Like, if you're
You got to be discharged,
Yeah,
man.
dude.
You can't leave the
just
floor.
leave.
Yeah.
You ever, like, what was your, like, family saying? Like, you
I
gotta.
didn't tell him. What are you, stupid?
Yeah,
You don't
yeah,
tell your
yeah. You're
family.
not
You don't
telling
home and
them.
tell your wife.
What's wrong with you?
That's the difference between you and me. I'm not going to tell my family shit.
Yeah.
I'm going to go home and tell them that they let me go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
it
I
was
got you.
not really thinking, but it's not a good plan. It wasn't a good plan. But he shows up in the morning, and he's ready to go. And he said, what do I need to do? And I said, you need to bring a truck, because I got this Peloton. And you need
Fucking Peloton.
and you need 2 hockey
He's
bags.
gonna carry
Yeah.
the Peloton
And he goes,
out.
2 hockey bags. I go, yeah, they brought all this Christmas shit in here. And I shouldn't say it like that, but they brought all this Christmas stuff in here, a tree that folds down, and they think I'm staying here for Christmas. I'm not going to be here for Christmas.
So this is right before Christmas.
This is the 22nd of December.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
And he goes, you're not going to be in there? And I go, get me out of here, man. I can't be in here. So I've packed everything up, taken the lights down. People sent baskets. I've condensed it into stuff that makes sense. And I've got it all laying on this love seat. He comes in with 2 hockey bags, and he's got the things to take it out of the cart, to take it out of there, throws me the bags. We pack up the bags. He's dressed accordingly to get out of there and says, go down the employee elevator here. Go down the employee elevator. Walk through by the coffee shop. Go up the stairs, the escalator. You see that truck down there? I'm on the 10th floor. You see that truck? Pardon me, 8th floor. He goes, you see that truck out there? That's my truck. one of our service trucks got the hoist down. He's got pylons around it. His flashers on in the emergency
He knows.
loop. He goes, go get in that truck, and I'll be out there. And I said, the doctor's not here yet. He goes, what? I go, the doctor's not here. He goes, I don't know how we're getting this thing out of here without somebody seeing me. Go get a sheet. So I take my bedding off because I'm leaving anyway. Because so I put everything in the soiled sheets and I put the sheet over the Peloton, and then he takes the bags and goes and comes back. And he comes back and he's just got his beanie on, standing all, Twister, intimidating, big, tilted
Fuck
back,
yeah.
built like a brick shit house.
Still.
And he's standing there and he says, the doctor walks in. And the doctor has promised me if I hit my numbers, I can get out. But he's at a seminar somewhere. So 2 days earlier, I've hit my numbers. And I've done all my stuff. I needed 2,400 push-ups. I've done 2,800. I need 2,400 sit-ups. I've done 2,800. I need 7 miles a day of walking in there. I've done 8.5 miles a day of walking. I've done 30 minutes minimum of Peloton up to 45 minutes. I'm done. And I got my numbers. I went out. But I could have been out on the 20th. But I'm having these irrational thoughts and I'm saying, get me the fuck out of here because I'm going to lose my mind. If I'm in here and I'm supposed to be out and I'm saying in my mind, I'm supposed to be out. So the doctors that are coming in to see me, they're in fellowship. They're like, well, we can't discharge you. I'm like, I'm not supposed to be in here. If I got my, where's, so they're telling me Ramsey's at this seminar. So he comes in and I go, oh, look who came back when the work's done. Look at this. And Twister's standing in there, right, to around the corner. And he comes like, I know, I heard you've been, and he's unbelievable. First of all, brilliant, cares about his patients, cares about me, been unbelievable in my
He
family.
know who you were and everything?
No, which
No.
is a whole different story.
No.
But he says, I know. And he goes through the spiel with me, right? Okay, I was at a seminar. I go, okay, well, you didn't keep your word. He goes, what? I go, you didn't keep your word. And he looks over and he sees Twister. He goes, hey, Ramsey Aboud. Twister goes, Tony. Stands like this. He goes, were you a hockey player, Tony? Nope.
Ray Donovan.
Just stands there. And now he's kind of
Nope.
looking at Twister like, uh-oh, right? And so he goes, well, I'm going to discharge you today. I go, are you though? Are you really going to discharge me or is this another charade? And he goes, no, I'm going to get you out of here today or something like that. Are you good with that? And I go, I'm good with it. He goes, Tony, you good with it? He goes, oh, I fucking knew he was leaving today. I just didn't know how we were getting this bike out of here without anybody seeing.